What's up, Bears fans? It's your boy King V Kumar giving you guys the latest post-game reaction to the Bears versus Texans game. First of all, I want to get the announcements out of the way. Make sure you guys have subscribed. Make sure you guys like the video for the YouTube algorithm. And make sure you guys share it with 3 friends. And let me know in the comments how you feel about this Bears win. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Hey Bears fans, so the Chicago Bears just beat the Houston Texans by a wide margin, a pretty good margin from 36-7. Mitchell Trubisky went off tonight, and he went to 24 for 33 for 267 yards, 3 touchdowns. David Montgomery was lights out, had 11 carries for 113 yards with an average of 10.3 yards and 1 touchdown with the 80-yard touchdown. And on the receiving end, we had Allen Robinson, who had 9 receptions, 423 yards with an average of 13.7 yards and 1 touchdown. We saw David Montgomery have 3 receptions. He had 42 yards, and then he had an average of 14.4 yards per catch. Cole Kmet today had 4 receptions. He for 41 yards, 10.2 average yards per play. Jimmy Graham had 4 receptions for 23 yards with an average of 5.8 yards per game and then 1 touchdown. And Darnell Mooney had 2 receptions today for 22 yards and for an average of 11.0 yards and 1 touchdown. And Miller had 2 receptions for 16 yards with an average of 8 yards, and that is how we did offensively. And defensively, we did very well. Roquan Smith had 2 sacks tonight, and Mario Edwards also had 2 sacks. Brett Urban had a sack today. Khalil Mack went lights out. He had a safety today, and it's just a great day to be a Chicago Bears fan today, and I'm really, really happy with this team. Now, if you watched my video yesterday, you probably saw how I predicted us losing to the Texans. And obviously, I was wrong about that, but I mean, a lot of you might be asking yourself, okay, when will Matt Nagy / Pace be fired? Is that a possibility? And yes, that is definitely a possibility if we do miss the playoffs, because losing 6 straight games could result in any coach being fired and any GM be fired. So we will see how our season turns out. But again, something that someone pointed out to me, JB, who's a strong supporter of this channel. So shout out to you, JB. Go check out this channel. It's called Keeping It Real with Justin Verdell. Help him get 90 subscribers and help him get 100 subscribers. So go subscribe to Keeping It Real with Justin Verdell and help him grow. Anyway, what he said to me was, I was like, hey, I know we won, but what if we lose in the first round of the playoffs? What if we miss out on Zach Wilson? Or what if we miss out on Trey Lance? This is what he said to me. He said, we don't know what will happen in the draft. We don't know what's going to happen with Zach Wilson. We don't know if he's going to become a star or a bust. We don't even know that. And another one of my biggest people I look up to is the Windy City Productions. And he talked about like how teams who tank tend to do really, really bad. Looking at the Jets, looking at a team like the Jaguars, looking at a team like all these teams that try to tank, they haven't been doing very well. Hopefully, and I think there's definitely a possibility that we trade up. I believe we have the 15th pick in the NFL draft. There's definitely a possibility that we do trade up and we can get someone like Zach Wilson or someone like Trey Lance. The possibility is definitely there. And I'm hopeful that we will definitely draft a quarterback. Hopefully we get one of those two. We don't even know what's going to happen with the draft. We don't know how Zach Wilson will do with his final games or how Trey Lance will do in the combine, or how Zach Wilson will do in the combine, or how both of them will show up in the pro days. We don't know how that happens. There is still a possibility that we can get these two guys if that is why you want to tank. And there's also a possibility that Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace get fired if he missed the playoffs. And it all comes down. Our season literally will come down to the Minnesota Vikings game. That is the most important game of the Chicago Bears season as it stands right now. If we win that game, we are still in the hunt for the playoffs. If we lose that game, we are not going to make the playoffs, and we might as well tank for a better draft pick. We might as well purposely lose against the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Green Bay Packers because there's no way we can make the playoffs. Okay? Now with that being said, let me give a huge shout out to Mitchell Trubisky. Ever since Mitchell Trubisky came out of the 2017 NFL draft, we have been saying, fans have been saying, NFL analysts have been saying, NFL fans of other teams have been saying, oh my god, you drafted Mitchell Trubisky over Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. Well, you know what? Today, Mitch showed why he was drafted before Deshaun Watson. He really did. He was lights out better than Deshaun Watson was tonight. This afternoon. He was making throws. He was finding wide open guys. He was rolling out of the pocket. He was throwing footballs where only the receivers could catch. He was making good decisions. He was going through his reads. He was extending the plays. He did a really, really good job. Mitch, we should all be proud of Mitch. Now, I don't know why Matt Nagy decided to bench Mitchell Trubisky and go with Nick Foles. I don't know why he did that, but we all know how stupid that was. We all know that Mitch should have been the starter since the Falcons game. And sure, that Falcons game did suck and we probably would have lost. But who knows how many games we could have won where Foles played. Right? We don't know that. So Mitchell Trubisky should have been the starter. Another quick shout out. Allen Robinson. Every single one of our Bears fans were hating on Allen Robinson and calling him how he didn't really care about this team when he missed getting the first down versus Detroit. But you know what? Today he played lights out, making extraordinary catches. And another big shout out goes to Cole Kmet. Again, this is another guy that us Bears fans have been calling a bust. But you know what? Cole Kmet went through people. He caught the ball and he trucked so many people today. Even last week, he did really, really, really good. Cole Kmet has a bright future. And Darnell Mooney is a steal. Put it as it is. He's a steal. He's proving to be one of the better wide receivers in the NFL. He is catching passes. He is speedy. He is proving that he is the X factor on the Chicago Bears team. And now, probably the biggest shout out, the biggest player that we should be proud of because I don't know what the future holds for Trubisky and Robinson, but man, David Montgomery went off today, going on an 80-yard run. I think that was David's longest career touchdown that he's had with the Chicago Bears. Wow. Good for David Montgomery. He's proving to be a top 15, top 10 running back. I said it in the Discord chat that I'm in. David Montgomery has to be one of the most underrated running backs in the entire NFL. He's so underrated. He's playing behind a really, really bad offensive line. And my last few shoutouts will go to Bill Lazor. He's calling some incredible plays. And, Matt Nagy for preparing his guys. Matt Nagy, he has not prepared his guys in games past. But today, he came out and we had consistency on all sides of the field. On defense, on offense, on special teams. Every single positional group was consistent today. And that's all due to Matt Nagy. Great job, Matt Nagy. And the defense. Wow. The defense has been showing us these past 2 weeks against Detroit and Green Bay that something went wrong. But today, they came out to play. Today, Khalil Mack. Today, Akeem Hicks, Kyle Fuller, Jalen Johnson, Duke Shelley. Everyone came up to play today. And we won. Everybody came out today. Everybody wanted to win. And we got exactly that. So you know what, Bears fans? Let's be happy we got this win. And who knows what's going to happen in the future. But let's be happy with what we have and bear down.